So do we like head back and like those two like making out or something?
As you return, you and Avalon walk back and are escorted by the Revenant, who returns to his post at the front of the bridge. You guys will return to Morrigan and Nicola are sitting next to each other, and it is an unusual sight as you walk outside. The both of you, as you breathe the fresh air, feel the very heavy moisture, and it looks like there's going to be a horrific, like maybe almost hurricane-level storm centered right over the castle, while just over by the village, it's perfect blue skies. And Morrigan and Nicola are sitting in the middle of it, looking as cool and calm as can possibly be, while their hair flutters in the furious winds.
Are you still having a moment, or
Oh god.
Morrigan lets go of Nicola's hands and looks up at you. You return.
yes?
I was prepared to bring the castle down on top of you if you did not return.
I didn't know you cared for me that much. Thank you, Morrigan.
I do not.
Good. The feeling's mutual.
I care for our mission that must be completed. I am sure you understand.
Yeah, I'm sure you can understand a joke. So we have entered the castle, and yeah, it's fucking weird. A 10-year-old boy in charge. I'm hearing two voices. If I've taken some sort of drugs or something like that. But it's not Connor. Whatever it is, it's fucked up. It's beating up his mum. He believes that Redcliffe is hiding the person that poisoned his father, and his solution to that is killing everyone without actually doing an investigation. So his logic is completely flawed because he's going to kill everyone and not actually find his killer. So we have somehow now been roped into finding the killer or the person that's poisoned his father.
I noticed two of you did not return.
Lucius and Drastov are back in there. Lucius has found out that it's some rare poison that should have killed him in a matter of minutes, hours, and yet for some reason he's been kept alive. So essentially, what I can theorize is a very, very out there theory would be that supposedly he is met up, Arrow Eamon has met up with a delegate from Logain. Now, as I said at the very start, this is something that you don't just do, something you plan way in advance. Now, we have found out that Arrow Eamon is probably one of the people that... Are you right, Bella? Sorry, cat just jumped up.
Hello, Bella.
Arrow Eamon is probably somebody in a position to oppose Logain, just claiming that he's now the regent of Ferelden. So my theory would be that he has poisoned him. Why he's not dead, Lucius has no idea, which is completely baffles me. But my thinking was, if you could, Morrigan, do more of your talking of the dead and getting the answers we need from this diplomat to see if he's the one that has poisoned Arrow Eamon, so then it could mean that this kid will stop going around slaughtering innocents.
I will do this, yes. I will need the body delivered to me if I cannot go inside.
Yeah, he's going to deliver the body out to us in a matter of time. I don't know how long, but he just says he would.
Avalon?
Yeah?
You and I and Nicola, I believe, are in agreement of what happened here. I would think.
I've started to get an idea, yeah.
Tell me what you think.
I think the kid, in a state of emotional distress, became vulnerable to a demon from the Fade. If I were to go on a wild guess, it's the only thing I can think of that explains his extreme control of the undead.
Theo, I am not sure if you came to the same conclusion we have, but this is what we believe has happened. Connor is not himself. He has become a vessel for a demonic entity which is now speaking through his body. It will continue to become more vile and more perverse as this demon becomes more comfortable in his skin. This demon must be destroyed or expelled out of his body. No amount of appeasement or cooperation with this entity will reduce its violence and its brazenness.
I completely 100% agree. I'm not going to sit here and try and sound like, or to say I told anyone so, because I didn't know that information. But I definitely believe something was not right here, and trying to go in to resolve this diplomatically probably wouldn't work out. But now that we have that information, we can probably make a decision of how do we expel this demon, or if not, exactly, Bella, should we just kill the kid?
So when me and Morrigan spoke, that was the easiest option. The other options to find the anchor that brought the demon to this from the Fade, but it seems like killing the kid seems to be the most logical and easiest way of doing this.
Slaying Connor is the fastest solution to this problem. However, there are methods to exorcise the demon from his body.
But who's going to be able to do that? Because that's obviously why he doesn't want mages in.
Yeah, that's
I am certain that is why.
Yeah.
This is why. Yeah, as you're saying, it's not wanting you guys in there. Plus, this thing is not going to willingly leave his body. I imagine the anchor would be his father nearly dying, and he's made an irrational decision to try and do something in regards to saving his father. I mean, could a demon have any way of stopping the magic killing his father? Because who's to say if we kill this demon, then his father just dies, and then we actually lose the political leverage that we need?
It is possible that whatever this entity is magically keeping Eamon alive. Destruction of this entity would remove that protection.
So what we need to do is find, if Lucius can find a way of getting rid of the poison or whatever, and then if we were to attack, it would be attacking the kid after that. That's the only way of keeping him alive potentially, is to cure him and then.
How are we going to? That's the thing. No, how are we going to get this thing to agree? Because again, as Morrigan said, this thing is malicious. It's vile. It's not going to give up its anchor. Again, since talking to it, the only way I could appeal to it was its own sense of order and within the world. So it's not going to just willingly just say, "Yeah, cool, take me out of this young kid's body where I have all my fun." This is the point I was trying to make. It says it wants to help its. Well, Connor says he wants to help his dad, but this thing is just killing everyone. That doesn't make any sense. Anyone would know that. Why would you just not launch an investigation? You would have the forces to do so. You have the night.
To be able to kill people.
I am certain you are understanding that it is not Connor's decision and not Connor's voice.
It's
to keep his father alive, probably.
Yeah.
To appease appease Connor so that it doesn't try to reject the demon or something.
So how does a demon enter one's body? Does he need to agree to it?
For a demon to possess a living body, it has to be invited.
So Connor's invited it in then?
It is possible that Connor is magic sensitive and unaware. In his desperation, when Eamon fell sick, he prayed for an entity. He possibly prayed to the Maker for a solution. The demon approached him in his dreams and offered to keep Eamon alive. And by accepting that bargain, the demon is now inhabiting Connor's body.
And that's
true to its word, Eamon will be kept alive for as long as that possession is active.
Mm-hmm.
What happens after that possession ends, I don't know.
So I mean, we can deal with that Connor's still going to have to answer in some form of a way, in regards to the decisions that he's made, a child or not.
The body is being dragged down the bridge as you guys are discussing it.
That's no. It's not his decisions, though.
He's made a decision to invite this thing in. He has.
We've just discussed that it might not have technically known that was what he was doing.
Yes, but he still has to understand the repercussions of his actions. This is my point. Like, he has to learn a lesson from this. I'm not saying we're going to go out and fucking whip him in the streets. I'm just making the point. Everyone's jumping down my throat here. I'm just saying we have to. If we do go down that road, he has to understand the severity of the actions that he's taken.
Oh, definitely.
He doesn't just get a slap in the wrist and like, oh, you were a naughty boy, you tried to save your dad.
If you murder him, then I don't think he's going to get any of that.
I don't think that's what Theo's saying, but I think the knowledge of what's happened and simply the experience of being possessed will be more than enough to drive the kid from wanting to making this mistake again.
If the child is magic sensitive and decided to do this, then he must be brought to a circle or taught properly.
I don't want anybody to go through that experience at the circle.
This is what happens to children with too much power, with parents that don't treat them as such. There is no way his parents were unaware of him being sensitive.
I imagine Arrow, even if he'd have found, supposedly the thing said that Arrow Eamon was an honourable man. So if that's the case, then Arrow Eamon, I imagine, would not have disobeyed the laws of the land.
And what about, is there anyone else in there that living or anything? Is there like
his mother?
His mother, who's violently beaten.
There has been no other mention of survivors, but that's also not a question that's been asked. The body is dropped off right next to you guys.
I would immediately address that happening. Well, wait, I'm sorry. Did Theo actually already mention that the body's being brought from Oregon to speak to?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I missed it.
Right, you've got to apologise. Nothing to apologise for. So Theo will just then say, so this is supposedly the diplomat of Logain. Is there any telltale factors? Like, is it just bare ass naked, or is he wearing any robes, any clothes, anything to distinguish if this man would have been a delegate or of upper class? You don't just send a nobody.
Well, Avalon would recognize right away. This man is wearing the robes of a member of the circle.
He did say he was a runaway from the circle. Oh, no.
Yep.
Out of character, yeah. Out of character, you're right. Yes, he did. He did say that the diplomat was a runaway from the circle.
Okay.
So he is still wearing his mage robes. His chest area and his back, both of those are soaked heavily in blood.
Let us get the answers that we need. Morrigan, if you may, please.
Should we inform the two inside of our intentions, or have we come up to one?
Oh, they already know what we're doing.
I'm gonna need to step away from this again.
Why?
I'm sorry. I still can't deal with something like this.
Avalon, we are in consensus of what must be done, including your voice in agreeing that this must be done. Why do you shy from it now?
I understand it needs to be done, but mistreating the dead is something I just can't be comfortable with.
Do you have a better solution?
No, it needs to be done, but I'm not going to be here when it happens. I'll be nearby. I mean, no ill will. And I'm going to walk away.
Respectfully,
the vision that is presented, I am performing the ritual and I cannot see it. The more eyes we have on this, the more information that we can delve.
So before Avalon walks away, I'm going to say you need to understand this is a decision that we trusted you on to go and do. You wanted to save these people, so that these are the consequences of the decision that you have made now, and we've all made as a group. You also need to deal with the gritty reality of what comes with that. You can't just walk away just because you don't enjoy or like something.
It's not about that.
I mean, we wouldn't have to be doing it if we just stormed the place.
We would have faced this reality anyway. It's not like Connor was not in charge. We would have destroyed his gate guards, but we would have been faced with the same problem. It doesn't matter whether we attempted to parley or not. Avalon, I am only asking for your fortitude in this. A vision will be presented of the last moments of this person's life. The more people viewing it, the more likely someone will find a detail that needs to be seen. If you are unwilling to do this, then I will not make you. But this is a decision we came to together.
Avalon, I understand your dislike towards the
Some
situation,
weird emotional trepidation. It is about my magic.
and I understand that. From the point where we're at just now, I'm asking, like I said, you can say no. I'm asking you to stay with the group and help us figure this out. Again, if you want to say no and walk away, that's fine. I understand, but three sets of eyes are better than two sets of eyes.
I will need time to prepare anyway. I will need about 10 minutes or so to prepare.
For what it's worth, Avalon, I don't agree with it necessarily, and I don't like it, but I'm willing to do it. I'm slightly interested in it, but like I said, if you
I'm
say
gonna
no,
hold
then by means.
I'm gonna hold my hand up and I'm gonna say it's not about morals. If I lose something magically because of this, it is what it is.
You do not control yourself.
It's not that simple.
Nothing ever is. But I want to understand what you are trying to say.
Certain parts of my magic are lost for a time after acts like this are committed near me. I can't force the magic through my arms and use it as a weapon the same way that the way that I have been if I'm stuck here experiencing this. I know 'cause
That
it's happened before.
I understand now. I am sorry if I was implying that you were weak-willed. But you should have simply explained that from the beginning.
It's not exactly easy to explain when I already hate that I'm a mage.
I lose a great deal of control of my own ability to feel my body and know where I am. When I dominated the undead yesterday, I had to allow something to take my body from me. I know what it's like. You are not alone in this.
Plus, we are going to resolve this diplomatically, so there might not be any need for a fight. But that's the goal anyway.
But I do understand. If you want to walk away from this, I will not challenge you on it. I understand your concerns. Either way, I will need time to prepare. All right, Lucius and Dress. What are you two up to?
Oh, I'm going to make sure that Lucius has all the space and time and he could.
What?
I'll
You're a
make
bit-
sure that Lucius has all the time and space he needs.
Yep,
You gonna
I'll
be his
just
lab
be-
assistant?
I'll be his lab assistant.
Hey.
I don't have dignity.
Hey, an assistant is an important role, man.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
The more weight you take off of Lucius's shoulders, the more efficiently he can work.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Lucius,
We'll put
do
him
your
to work.
doctor thing. What are you doing?
All right. Well, we'll just start breaking this blood down. Before I start, though, I am going to request: is there a uh, a library of sorts where you would keep your books? The reason why I ask is because while I do have sufficient faith in my memory, it could enhance my investigation if I were to be allowed to borrow some books if you have them on this topic. I can use them as reference.
You are allowed to wander the castle to get what you need. You are under guard while you do so, but you're allowed to go where you want to go.
Okay.
Yo, Lucius, you know what time it is? It's time to loot this bitch.
Time to start taking things. Be like, oh, I need this gold for my investigation.
Oh my.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're under guard the whole time, though. Damn it. Okay. I'll ask.
Just be brazen about it.
Where is where would the den or the study be? The place where you would keep your library?
I don't really care where you go on the map, so you're allowed to get what you want to get.
Okay. They don't give me any specific direction.
You are led to where you got to go. The guards that are following you are not the Revenant anymore. So they are just soulless, silent skeletons that lead you
Okay.
around and follow you wherever you go without saying a word.
This looks like a den of some sort with books. We'll go over here and I will peruse the bookshelf.
All right.
Specifically, I'm looking for anything on biology, on nature for Drastov because he can look through that stuff for me. Alchemy, poisons, anything that would be topically relevant to this.
All right. Let's get a raw luck check.
D100, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope. Nothing of the such.
Actually, we know that this has been most likely applied by measure of a drink. I'm going to go look through the wine cabinet and see if there's any recently opened bottles. There
right.
was probably not a chance to, drink anything after the crazy shit started happening, but we might be able to find the origin point.
All right.
Good idea.
You are led to the wine cellar. It's fairly modest for a nobleman, or an Arl anyway. There's maybe 16 barrels of fine things that are labeled properly. They are aged as they should. They're kept in a nice dry area. 3 of the barrels currently have taps in them.
No single bottles?
No, the barrels themselves have taps in them.
Well, yeah, I'm asking if there is single bottles.
There are not individual bottles, no.
Okay. Well, time to make some investigations and see if anything smells weird or looks like it has been, well, fucked with.
Ooh.
You carefully examine the 3 barrels. You take a little bit of each kind. You very carefully make sure none of it contacts your skin in any way. You hold your breath properly. You do your best to shield your eyes as much as you can. Whatever's in this thing, you are taking every precaution you can. You carefully spend about a half an hour or so going through each barrel. You're here for quite a while, but you find no trace of poison of any kind.
Most likely not by way of wine. Next
Hmm.
question is, did the I'll take any medicine? Or where's his favorite wine cup? Would the prince be able to tell me that, or his mother? What did the I'll have a favorite cup, or did he take any medicine regularly?
Lady Isolde, since we've gone all this time without ever mentioning her name, she reaches behind the little couch she's on and she cautiously hands you a cup while staring in absolute terror at Connor, who just watches her do it.
That's his favorite cup.
He always drank from this.
We could test that.
I'm going to hand this over to Lucius so he can test it properly. I checked the wine barrels, and I don't think the supply itself is, so it has to be coming from some kind of localized source.
Shall we check the food prep area, the kitchen?
Yeah,
There might be
that's what I'm
evidence
doing
there.
next. Yeah.
I'll go with.
You guys check out the kitchens. It looks nothing out of the ordinary, other than there's nobody here.
Okay.
Actually, Lord Prince, is the Cupbearer still alive? I know you nobles of human lands like to have one of those.
What's that?
Does the Cupbearer still live? In medieval times, the Cupbearer was an honorary role assigned to people that were, well, supposed to make sure that the cup doesn't get poisoned. Is he still alive? He?
The Jarl did not use one of those because he found that very demeaning. He was able to carry his own cup with him. Although we haven't actually examined the cup yet.
Yep. Lucius, do the thing.
Okay. I'm going to take that back to my makeshift lab to test. We'll see what kind of properties or, if anything, would test positive. How about that?
You spend some time with it. Let's get a medicine check. Is this with your pluses?
Oh yeah. We're using the. Well, I rolled crafting because we were using the lab. Do you want me to do medicine instead? If we're using medicine, the only difference is it's going to be 2 points less because I'm expert in both.
Still above 30 then.
Did I say medicine check and then you roll crafting, or did I not say?
I rolled crafting and then you said medicine. I just went ahead of you.
All right, let's just roll the medicine check, and you're getting your +4 or +2. Are you using the extra charges?
You know, I think this is important, so yes, I will.
Okay, let's try another roll. You get a +4.
Use your reroll, my friend.
Are you going to use your hero point?
Yeah, I'll use the hero
you know
point for
what?
this.
I would like to donate him mine, so he has
No,
to
you don't get to
explain
do that.
Motherfucker.
Damn.
That's a lot better. We go from
Damn near
a 10
ultimate
to
reversal.
a 32 is a nice. You carefully examine it. You treat it as if it's poisonous because you've done this many times. You're taking every precaution you can. As you are searching the thing and you are testing every little bit of it, anywhere where someone would normally put their hands or their fingers or their lips to the cup. And as you mess with it, you spend a good almost half an hour with this thing. You are absolutely certain that this must be the cause somewhere. And you exhaustively checked every part of this cup over and over and over until you are ready to throw it on the ground because you're so pissed off. Why the fuck can't I find what's happening? And as you're getting ready to throw it in frustration, and you pick it up and you turn it over, you see a tiny little piece inside that gold cup slide down as it's held up to the air. There was a tiny little compartment inside that cup.
Wait, what? Drastoff, look at this.
Fucking knew it.
There is a tiny little thing, maybe the size of, maybe 2 or 3 times the size of a pinhead, a tiny little slide door inside it. And inside that little hole is a single drop of a gray black liquid falls out of it.
Well, found the source, now to tell him. Whoever touched the cup last or fucked with it is responsible.
That would point to. Okay.
Yeah.
We should go present this.
Yeah, my man. I have a feeling that a certain bitch is about to get beaten by a revenant. Oh my, I am all for it.
Oh, man. You're going to implicate his mom?
Well, no, if she has
God.
an explanation why she has the cup.
You return to the lobby. Connor anxiously awaits your return, and he can see the excitement on both of your faces. You found something, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you
Um,
find?
I'll like somewhat approach a little bit with the cup tipped just at the right spot. So this was really, really well hidden. But if you look here, pointing to the little area that popped open, there this little compartment. There was something in here, and as it popped open, there was a like a gray black liquid that the last drop of it dropped out. So they used this to poison him.
This is a valuable find, Doctor. But this does not make any progress towards making him not sick.
We can find out what exact poison was used, and from there we can figure out.
Yeah, yes. There will be remnants of what was used in here, and I can test that. I will do that, but I felt this was important enough for you to know immediately.
Mother, why did you have his cup? And Connor gets up and he reaches behind him and grabs basically a metal rod. And he looks like he's about to just start wailing on her with a pipe as she just looks at him in terror. It was his cup. Why would I not have it? He winds up and he's about to just crack it right over her face. Anybody say anything?
Well, I'm going to speak to Drastov, but I'm going to do it enough to where they can hear. And I think, Drastov, can we do anything to test to verify that she's handled something like this once we find out the exact poison?
I would love to know if she did.
Certainly is an interesting question why you had it and why you had it at ready.
You mustn't believe I did this. Why would I poison my husband in front of my son?
Well,
She looks like her head's about to fall off with grief now.
See, the thing is, I don't think you did. However, what I know, Eamon is an honorable man. Now, we know your boy has the talent. Must have concealed it. Perhaps Eamon learned of it. He was mad. But I'm not going to make any statements of such nature. But the question is, why did you have it and why didn't you have it tested? If two idiots like us can come up with this conclusion, a noble woman of your state who has been in politics for years surely must have at least considered it.
I did, but I had no one to take it to. We don't have anyone of that skill here in the palace.
Well, you did, but you kicked me out.
You weren't here when this happened.
True.
Mother,
Who had
is this
it?
man implying that we would have been able to solve this problem had he not been thrown out in the first place? And he gets
Oh,
ready to
shit.
start beating her with the pipe again.
Who handled the cup? Not stopping him unless you tell us.
Where'd you get it from? Was it been back there the whole time?
I've had it here where he always keeps it. It just made me feel better and hope that he'd come back.
Well, where did you get it from when you brought it to here?
He was sitting in the lobby.
In the lobby?
He went through the lounge with the books. That's where he was when it happened.
Oh,
Who was close to him? Remember, this is important.
did he have any late visitors just before he fell ill? That would have been in that room.
Just the ambassador. It happened shortly after he left.
I would like to sense motive this bitch.
Go for it. She knows something and isn't saying it.
Listen up, you know something. And Connor,
Mother?
I think you are maybe, just maybe in the right. Go for the ankles first, it hurts the most.
You know something that you're not telling the nice dwarf, Mother. Are you withholding information to make Father better? Bam! He cracks her across the face with a pipe. You can, the blood splatters on the wall. The doctor and Lucius felt part of her skull probably fractured with it. He was not gentle. And she's laying on the ground, bleeding heavily. barely able to breathe from it.
I'm going to hand her a magical potion. And I'm going to make her drink it so she can heal. Now, listen very closely. Your son is very angry. I don't feel, I don't really feel like I need to stop him. Better start speaking. 'Cause, I don't have that many potions.
Give me a perception check.
Who?
Drestov, since he's closest to her.
Damn.
Her eyes keep glancing at Connor and going back to you. Not in a frightened, oh my god, he's going to hit me more, but in a I'm trying to tell you something suggestion.
Yes, she's trying to tell me something. Your mother very clearly wants to speak, but not to you for some reason. Prince Connor, would you be so kind as to give me a few minutes? I have a few dwarven techniques to make people talk.
You have dwarven techniques of being alone with my mother you are trying to apply. This is very brazen of you, dwarf.
Ah, you want your father to be better. I can't promise it'll help, but it might.
I do not need any dwarven half-breeds in my household.
Nah, I don't want to do that. She's not my taste. Besides, she's a married woman. That is wrong. But if you don't want me to try to help, then I won't.
You may speak with her in the bedchamber. You will be under guard.
Of course. But I feel the Revenant may be a bit too imposing for her feeble womanly figure.
He is outside.
Very well.
The Revenant's guarding outside.
I'm going to get her, and I'm just going to look at her. And once we're there in the bedroom, I'm just going to tell her, right, I've bought you time. It was unpleasant, and I apologize. This is the best way to make sure that your little monster doesn't do anything stupid. So tell me what you know. We don't have much time until he kills you for real.
Please, you have to get us out of here. I know what it looks like, but Connor does not know what he does. I don't
He's
want my son to
possessed.
die.
Yeah, he's probably possessed, is my guess.
Please, no.
Yeah.
There must be something you can do.
Yeah, kill him.
Oh, please, no. And she just starts weeping.
Listen up, woman. You know something. Tell me what you know. We can see if we can work with it. Otherwise, I'm really tempted to just cave the skull in. I don't want to do that, but I will if it's needed. I've already wasted enough time here as is. So, start talking, or I will start kicking somebody's skull.
Give me a Diplo or an Intimidation. Which one are you going to go for? This sounds like an Intimidation check.
This is
Great.
not. I mean, this is just Drasov making a statement, but I don't suppose I could just grab a random object and throw it at her with athletics because, my intimidation is shit, and you know that.
All I'm going to say is the amount of shit that this poor woman has endured over the last 3 days, you can't threaten her any harder than she's been threatened. So just throwing shit around the room is not going to make her open up. You're going to have to do either a diplomacy or an intimidation. Or get someone else to do it for you if you can't. But you can't threaten her any more than she's been threatened. And you just offered that you're going to have to kill her son. She's not wanting to open up to you at all.
Her problem then, if she does not want to speak. There you go, an intimidation from a dwarf. Yeah, terrible roll. Well, not terrible roll, but my bonus is horrible.
You do your best to bark as loud as you can. You pick shit up and you kind of slam it into the wall. You make sure that your hand is on your weapons as you speak to her. You put a lot of iron into your mouth. Oh yeah, you don't have any weapons. You put a lot of iron into your voice. If you don't help us, your son's fucking dead. But right now, she is just too traumatized by what's going on to pay much attention to you, and she just continues weeping after you threaten to murder her son.
Mm. I'm just going to sit there and wait until she stops crying. I've got time. She doesn't. I'm just going to start smoking pipe. I can wait.
There's no smoking in the castle.
Fuck that.
What a rude guest.
I'm not a guest. I'm a prisoner.
No, you're a guest. You're allowed to come and go as you want to.
Right. Does she eventually calm down?
She does calm down after a few minutes, yes.
I'm going to hand her my pipe, see if she wants a drag.
She takes it. She coughs pretty heavily because it must have been a while, or she never has. But she takes some of it.
Now,
Please, my son is not to blame in this.
who is? We need something.
The ambassador did not poison my son.
Well, yeah. Your husband.
That's what I meant. My bad. He was here because I was trying to.
Make sure that Connor's talent is taken care of.
You do understand, then.
I mean, come on. I'm not a mage, but I'm not goddamn blind.
The runaway threatened me with outing Connor. He was unwilling to take any answer for no. He had to be dealt with. I tried to poison him.
Oh, for... Why are things as I predicted? I do not like this guy. Ah.
I didn't want this. But please, Connor is blameless in this. If anyone should be blamed, it's me, but not him.
Oh no, your boy really is the blameless one who took the shit end of the deal.
If someone's life must be paid, I will pay it. Just please don't hurt my son.
No, I don't really like killing children. I don't exactly want to make a habit out of it either. Here's what's going to happen. I'm not telling the people quite yet what happened. However, he wants a murderer. You know who can be blamed. I don't want a noble to die, but if you have somebody you can blame, do it. And you will owe me.
You want me to just put a random person to death?
I mean, you've already condemned an entire city.
Please don't say that.
Oh, I'm beyond politeness.
Wow, this is so fucked what you're doing right now.
I'm giving her the option to live. If she does not want to live, then die.
Wow. Morrigan is just about ready to perform her ritual. Is anyone doing anything in that time?
Theo was just imagining he's got his weapon back now, yeah? Or have they taken it away?
You asked what you had to do. It was a thievery check, and I don't see that you rolled a thievery check. Did you?
I'm worried about it now.
The Revenant saw. Did he spot you? As you make your attempts to just look like you're bored and fucking about, you do kind of slowly kick your weapon off to the side, away from the pile of stuff, And as you do it, you make sure your body is positioned properly, and you slowly sneak your rapier, and you kind of ride it up the left side of your left leg, facing away. And you very slowly, but as smoothly as you can, conceal your rapier inside your sleeve. And none of the enemies seem to have reacted to it. So you have been rearmed, and the enemy doesn't seem to be aware.
Aw, shit.
Is anyone else doing anything before Morrigan performs her ritual? Nicola, Evelyn? Nothing?
I didn't unmute myself. I said no.
Oh,
Yeah, there's nothing really I need to do. In fact, unless it's time to pray, it's the only thing I can do. So one of my spells needs reset, but that's about it.
no, it's not that late in the day yet. You still got time.
No, we're fine then.
Then I imagine we'll get ready. The people that are going to help out.
Okay, Morrigan starts preparing the body. As she does so, no one would find it pleasant. Morrigan kind of just throws the body around. She is not kind to it. She picks it up and breaks some of the bones. She takes out a knife and starts carving patterns over his body. She basically stabs out both of his eyes and just flings them off to the ground. She is mutilating this poor man. And as she starts to do her thing, the air starts to get very cold. Everyone feels a lot of water in the air. And as she stands up and starts to outstretch her hands, her body starts to convulse, and slowly the corpse from the ground starts to spasm on the ground. And everyone sees in almost black and white a projection of what this man saw. And it is played in very fast, rapid movement. You see several days go by in maybe a minute. You see this young man was made contact with Isolde. And even though he was an ambassador from Logain, and Logain sent him offering an alliance between Denerim and Redcliffe in the coming days, as long as loyalty was pledged to Logain. The ambassador was sent to do this in exchange for helping him hide from the circle he escaped. You guys watch the memories and don't see any mention of a poison or anything like that. But you do see him start to try to bully Isolde around. And a conversation whips by of him threatening to oust Connor to the circle if Isolde did not pay him as ridiculous an amounts of money. And after that connection refused, the ambassador was sitting in his room one night, and as Eamon went to go talk to him to wish him good night, he drank from Eamon's cup by accident, where he then choked and started to die. He was able to use a spell to get himself back up. Hold on, I got this backwards. It was Eamon that drank from the cup. When Eamon was poisoned, the mage started flipping out and trying to run away. And as he attempted to flee, the guards apprehended him as they found Eamon going down, and that the accusations immediately went towards him. He was imprisoned and for several days was interrogated until eventually the Revenant had enough of trying to badger an answer out of him and just impaled him and left him to bleed to death, and that was the end of his life.
So it was an accident that the Lehman was poisoned.
What we had seen in the vision was that when Eamon was poisoned, it didn't look like the mage had anything to do with it. But he was immediately blamed because he tried to run away when it happened. He's like, oh
Well-
my god, I'm getting blamed for this. So he tried to run out.
Yeah, but what that means is that somebody else was trying to poison the mage, right? So, well, I'm saying this in character. Like, I'm trying to process what I saw. Somebody else was trying to poison the mage, and they accidentally poisoned the Lehman. I'm getting that right?
It seems like there was a poison that was trying to go towards the mage,
I'm-
but Eamon
I'm-
drank it.
Yes, I know. I'm checking. I'm hitting my players to make them engage with me, and they're not saying anything.
Oh, you're doing this in game.
Yes, I said that. I'm saying it in character. Nick,
Oh, sorry.
Theo.
Yeah.
So we have essentially wasted time because some woman was essentially told she had to pay a ridiculous amount because he would oust something.
So she tried to kill him and ended up killing her husband. Killing
Out of character knowledge, we don't. What we do know is this: it's likely that the Lehman's wife poisoned this guy because he was going to rat their son out to the circle unless she paid him a shit ton of money.
But that's what V just said. We
And
saw.
that's what it looks like anyway.
Mm.
Again, out of character, yes, that's totally what happened. That's not what our characters
So-
would entirely know.
I mean, V just said though that in the vision he said, "You've got to give me a shit ton of money, or I'm going to tell everyone about Connor." Am I mistaken?
Yes,
That's in character.
Yes.
Okay, so
Mhm.
the mother's lied because Connor's magical. She didn't want her son getting taken away. So he's then
Fix
said,
the problem and cause the problem.
so yeah, he's then said, "Give me money, or I'm going to tell everyone about your son." She's then tried to poison him, and then poisoned her husband by mistake, and then he's ran away.
Well, the circle mage is dead right in
Yeah,
front
he's
of
dead.
us.
I was going to say that's him dead.
I mean,
The
yeah,
circle
Attack-
mage,
attack him
the
in the way.
circle mage was immediately accused of poisoning the king, and he insisted he wasn't guilty. And then the revenant just killed him.
so no matter what answer we give this thing, as Morrigan says, we're only going to feed its ego. This resolving this diplomatic isn't going to work. How do you convince a demon to leave a host of the body?
There is no convincing the demon to relinquish control. It will die and it will kill its host before it lets it go. But there are matters to forcibly expel it from the body or kill the demon in the Fade without harming the host.
Can
How
you
would we do
can you get me in the fade right now with that thing, and I can go and fuck up?
It will require extensive amounts of lyrium or blood.
Or why don't we just go in and
The problem is that it won't let us. It won't.
If
I
we
look
go
at-
in there and try to declare what we are doing, it will make every attempt to prevent us
no?
from doing
I'm listen. I'm not saying that. Like that's one of the things I've been an advocate of. We don't tell it what we're doing. That's been my whole point during this argument that we've had since the very start. This thing is not going to willingly let go of that kid. So either we kill the kid or we do something else. The quickest and easiest, most efficient way is, unfortunately, to kill Connor.
It is the most direct method.
It still would be harder than we think it's going to be. If the kid's possessed, the demon will put up a fight to keep its host.
And then it'll probably bring in the Revenant as well at that point if it starts getting attacked.
Morgan, is there anything that a person can do to force a demon to take a new host?
The demon wants to be a host of a powerful person. It now inhabits a prince. There is going to be little to tempt it to anything else.
That's what I was worried about. And the person we have here, that it would take a time for you to actually teach us how to exorcise the demon, wouldn't it?
It would take time to do. I cannot force the demon out. But I could allow some people into the Fade to combat it directly.
How long
But
is that
this
going to
man-
take?
I will need several hours to prepare and a great deal of lyrium or lives to do it.
Don't you just love it when all the choices are wonderful and juicy?
For every person I send into the Fade, it will require 2 lives.
What kind of life?
A living one that will die.
Can we just get a rabbit or a squirrel then?
It will have to be a person, Theo.
How strong is it inside the Fed? Because if it's going to be ridiculously strong, we're going to have a tough one. Because we're going to have to need it. We're going to need everybody in there then, if that's the case.
From what I can understand of this is a demon of desire. It latched onto Theo's helplessness and offered him something.
Theo?
Theo?
Fucking,
what?
Connor, I'm
didn't latch on to
getting
me.
worn out, man. I'm sorry.
My boy Theo's okay.
This is now like 8 hours I've been playing D&D. I'm getting worn out. It sensed Connor's desperation and made him an offer that he accepted without understanding, which now in his body is, without his consciousness, exercising his wants to conquer nations, to force people to bow to him. This is a demon that exists to bargain and imprison people with words, not through action. I don't believe it would be that powerful if you can combat it directly, but it will do as many honeyed words as it can to misguide you.
This is my point. No matter what we do to appease this thing right now,
There is no appeasing the
Yeah,
entity.
no.
It has to be destroyed.
It'll be destroyed.
this is my point. Like
So we either
the
need
the whole diplomacy thing is just a waste of time. We're going to have to.
It did give us an avenue to combat the area directly instead of fighting through all of its forces.
Yeah. It's potentially, if we're willing to find people to kill, get people in there and then kill it, we save a lot of lives. But unless we get a shit ton of lyrium, but don't see
The matter of the fact is,
or you kill Connor.
the wardens have time restraint against them. Is this time we can waste? I mean, I can get in there and I could. It's not something I would enjoy doing. I don't take any pleasure in it, but if needs must, in regards to one person must die to save hundreds of thousands more, then that's an action that has to be taken.
Yeah, the question is, how easy is it going to be to either kill Connor or get 2 people to sacrifice to get into the Fade and kill it?
We don't know if Eamon will survive. If Eamon dies, then we gain nothing here.
Exactly. So we need to make sure that they've got like a cure as well for him.
Or at least a next in line for succession.
Exactly.
If Eamon dies and Connor dies, no one is in charge of Redcliffe, and we gain no power. That's why we're here.
The guy back, is it Alexander, could take over?
Alistair?
Could he potentially take over?
Then he would be usurping a dead throne and would be no better than Logain, which will not help our cause.
Yeah, I guess.
Why not?
We need a valid claim to the throne of Redcliffe if we are going to kill Connor and potentially Eamon. Though we don't know if Eamon will die, I can't answer that.
But yeah, that's one of the things that Lucius said, and that's a concern. The matter of the fact is, he is magically staying alive from. Well, he's staying alive through magical means, and if what you're saying is obviously what you're saying is correct, then this thing is keeping Eamon alive magically in some way, somewhere or another. So why don't I don't know, Avalon or I can go back to the Chantry. I'll try and tell them what's going on and what. I'm sure if anyone fucking says no in the Chantry, then I'd be fucking gobsmacked. But the fact that Somebody's been possessed by a demon. I'm sure they'll give us all the fucking lyrium we need. If not, then I've already concealed my blade and I can get in there and I can kill him.
It's
So
the
here is,
Templars. They'll just kill the kid.
Here is the point that we're at. Right now, the group has to come to a consensus. Do we kill Connor, or do we attempt to destroy the thing possessing him? This is a decision you guys are going to have to spend some time talking about. This is not one someone's going to be like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to go kill Connor.
You are
So
wrong. Kill the child.